talk about products that are available on Amazon, and today we have a fun stream planned for you per usual. But today's stream is actually going to be revolving around the best tech specifically for holiday travel. I know it sounds crazy. We're already upon that time of year where we are coming up very quickly on the holidays. Next week is already Thanksgiving, right? Is my mind correct in thinking that? That's wild to me. And that just goes to show how fast this year has flown by. But with the holidays upon us, perhaps a lot of you are going to be traveling. And if that is the case, you probably have a lot of different moving pieces as it relates to the tech that you're bringing with you. But that probably also means that you have certain tech that you need to go along with your tech. So today we're basically going to be talking about what I think are some of the most important tech products to take with you for a variety of different purposes. They all have a tech slant to them, but they're tech that could either keep you charged up, no matter what other tech you're taking with you, or accessories that you're going to be able to have that are going to keep your stuff that you need with you, all right down to a water bottle we're going to be talking about that can help you stay hydrated throughout your travels. So a lot of cool plans here as it relates to this live stream. Quick little rundown of how this works. There is a product carousel that is going to be either below the stream or to the side of the stream. That is where you can actually see the selection of, I think, 15 or so products that I've picked out for this live stream. And at any given time when we're talking about a specific product, it is going to be highlighted with either an orange or a red box around it, along with a text that says featured now. So if you're just tuning in, you're wondering what I'm talking about, if you want to learn more about the product we're showing to you, you can click on that product in the carousel. That's going to open up either in a new page or a new tab. And that's where you'll actually be able to see the product information, and perhaps better yet, actually add the item to your cart and check out. This is not a deals-focused stream, but it is the holiday shopping season, so depending on when you're watching this, you might see some pretty good deals for these products in that carousel. Per usual, my little disclaimer is always, if you like the product that you see, and you like the price that it is available for, add that item to your cart by clicking on it in the carousel, then adding it to your cart. Don't forget to check out. That's going to lock in inventory availability. That's also going to lock in any kind of special pricing that might be available on some of these products. With that having been said, that is pretty much the housekeeping that we had to get through. Two other quick little things. You're going to notice that there is a follow button that is usually below the stream or to the side of the stream somewhere. If you're not yet already doing so, please smash that follow button. That is going to allow you to follow me here on Amazon Live. And if you turn on all notifications and you have the Amazon mobile app downloaded, that is going to allow you to actually receive a push notification every time I go live. So that way you never miss another live stream. Or, as a backup method, you could always follow me on social media. Just look up It's the BMAC on social media, and hopefully I'll see you over there. I do always post when I'm going live on social media as well. Other than that, buckle up. We're going to have a fun time this stream. My goal is to give you a couple ideas of pieces of tech that you could take with you and pack with you that's going to make your holiday travels a little less stressful and still keep you connected. I know I've been in a situation before where I've been traveling and I forgot something to keep my phone charged up, and then I felt completely lost, literally, and also physically lost, and also mentally lost. All the losts I've felt at times in my travels in the past, because if your phone dies or your other essentials die, you're in rough shape. So I want to make sure that we have a couple of products here that are going to keep you living your best life throughout the holiday shopping season. That is what this is all about. There's also a live chat, by the way. If you're watching this live, feel free to ask any questions about these products. I'd be happy to help you. But with that having said, like I mentioned, we have a lot of different products we actually have to get through. So I want to make sure we are not waiting any longer. The first product I'm going to talk about, of course, has to be the AirTag. This thing has lived on my keychain pretty much ever since the AirTag has actually come out. If you're not familiar with what an AirTag does, it is mostly going to be for your iPhone users out there. There are alternatives for Android users. There are a lot of different options though, so I wanted to kind of keep it simple for my iPhone users out there today and just talk about the AirTag. This is going to give you the ability of basically keeping track of whatever you have this AirTag attached to. Now, like I mentioned, Android is going to work a little bit differently. Anytime you have Bluetooth trackers, they essentially work within an ecosystem. In the past, we've talked a lot about tile trackers. Those are still around. Those are still a fantastic alternative to the AirPods for Android users. And arguably, you could assume that perhaps even the network is a little bit more expanded, although I would go so far as to say maybe it's probably closer to even than we think. Meaning that when you have a network, for instance, the tile trackers, they work with other tile users. AirPods, or excuse me, the AirTags here, work with other Apple users. So if you have someone who's with an iPhone and they happen to go buy your lost item with an AirTag attached to it, it's going to basically create an anonymous and encrypted signal to let you know that your lost item has been found. That is within the Apple Find My network. Different kind of products have different kind of networks. So for instance, the tile trackers have their own network. You can kind of pick and choose whichever one you see fit. But for iPhone users, you don't even have to think twice. I highly recommend you get yourself one of these, which is going to be an AirTag. We also have an Air card, which I might throw into the end of the carousel if we have time. That's going to be great for your wallet. But we'll see how we do on time with that. I have the other products ready to go here. This is the AirTag, and essentially it's just like a little button kind of device. It has a CR2032 battery. It's very easy to replace. You probably only have to replace it like once every, depending on how often you're using it, probably like once every 6 to 12 months, or longer in my case. But it is awesome. You just basically take one of these little CR2032 batteries, readily available at your local drugstore, or even right here on Amazon. And this is what you're going to use to actually power up the AirTag. And then, to install it once again, all you got, I always forget which side is, there it is, this is the positive side. Yeah, you just put it positive to positive, and then you're just going to close this down. And you will actually hear, if I cut the music and you listen closely, you'll hear a little chime when this has, let's see, when I successfully close it. Okay, ready? Did you hear it? You'll hear a little chime. We'll do it one more time. I'm gonna do it. Do it one more time. Now it doesn't want to do it, of course. Now it's being camera shy. Hold on. Maybe I gotta completely undo it here. Okay. Positive to positive. We're gonna strap this in. Listen close. There you go. I think you might have heard it that time. Hopefully you heard it. If you didn't, I promise you there's a little chime. That lets you know that basically the AirTag has been powered successfully. And then what you could do is you could actually set this up with your iPhone. What this is going to do is allow you to essentially, through the Apple Find My network, keep tabs on whatever you have this attached to. So for instance, I have this attached right here to my keys, and you're gonna notice, just by taking them, I also have this linked in the carousel. We'll talk about it in just a second. I have a little holder here, which has snugly and securely fit my AirTag for years on end on my keys. Probably one of my most abused items that I own. You're just throwing these things around, and this AirTag has never come apart or fallen off. But essentially, this is going to allow you to very easily just have this on your keychain. And it doesn't have to be on your keychain. People put this in their wallet. They put it in their favorite coat. They could attach a little lanyard or system, kind of attachment system to their luggage, for instance. Whatever you put your AirTag on. I know some people, I think my friend Nicole puts it in her kids' shoes when they're on a field trip or something. So she could track them that way. This gives you the ability of basically seeing on a map the location of wherever the AirTag is, and therefore the location of wherever the item is that the AirTag is attached to. Very helpful for holiday travel. Especially if you're going on an airplane, you don't want to lose your luggage. You could toss an AirTag into your luggage. You could attach it to your keys. You could put it with your computer bag. You literally, any item or any bag that you don't want to lose, you could throw an AirTag into it or attach an AirTag to it. And it is a great way to actually, first of all, prevent lost items, because if you happen to be separated from that item, you can set it up so you receive a push alert on your iPhone, letting you know that your item has been left behind, therefore preventing a lost item to begin with. Or if you do leave it behind, there are ways to actually recover the item by seeing it on a map, or of course actually utilizing the ability of people to scan it and get more information on how to return the item back to you. By now you probably understand what an AirTag does and how it works, but if you didn't, great item to have, again, especially for iPhone users. Right now they're actually at a fantastic price, $17.97 for one, or if you want to save even more, $64.98 is a fantastic price to get 4 of them together. You can see that the usual price of these were about $25 a piece. You did not get a bundle if you got 4 of them together. However, today, you do have the ability at the time of this live stream to snag 4 of them for the price of $65. $64.98 to be exact. And that way you could put one on your keychain. You could put one in your wallet if you wanted to, although I do have an alternative for that, like I mentioned, we could talk about later on. You could put it in your computer case, in your luggage, wherever you want to keep tabs on something. Great option to do that. And also, there are some security measures built in here that Apple has implemented as well. So if you want to make sure that these are not used for nefarious tracking purposes, you are going to hear an AirTag actually dinging if it appears, if one is following you without you knowing it. It's a nice little security measure there. But at the same time, you do have the ability of actually emitting a sound from these. So once you're within the vicinity of the AirTag, you can track it down on your phone, directional. directional guidance, but you also have the ability of emitting a sound from it, so you can track it down that way. Even just in the house, it has been so helpful to have my AirTag on my keys, because I'm gonna be done with this stream. These keys are probably gonna be stuck down here in the studio, and I'll be looking for them in another hour, and then I'll have to go into the Find My app, and I'll be dinging them, so I'll save myself. But for reasons like that, where I'm just misplacing items around the house, it comes in handy for just your general around the house needs too. There are even abilities to put them into your remotes. If you don't want to lose your remote and you want to ding the remote when you lose your remote, you could use it for that as well. But it comes in either a 1-pack or a 4-pack. You can check those out in the carousel. I will bring this back really quickly because I did mention I wanted to show you this right here. This is a Caseology by Spigen Apple AirTag holder. It's very simple in nature, but it is very rugged and yet very easy to use. It pops out super easily and goes in super easily, but when I say that, don't be afraid that it is going to actually accidentally pop out. It takes a little bit of power to actually push this out or put it back in, and it is phenomenally designed. It holds the AirTag perfectly. And this is going to allow you to basically attach your AirTag to your keys. This has helped me so many times before. Sometimes I've actually been skiing, and I know I have the keys, but it's somewhere in a bag that I took skiing, and I got to find my keys that way so I could actually get into the house. But possibilities are really endless. There are multiple different ways to attach your AirTags to your various products, and this is just one of them. This is what I use to attach them to my keys. It's only $15, so you're looking at $15 for the little holder from Caseology here, and then you're looking at what, about $17 for the AirTag itself. If you ask my opinion, that's pretty cheap insurance. You're talking about $30 for an investment of something that could help you prevent lost keys, which could completely ruin your day, God forbid, could completely ruin your holiday vacation. So get yourself an AirTag, get yourself an AirTag holder. If you don't want to go to the Caseology route, you could go a different route, but this is the one I personally use. I've been using it for years. It has not failed me. It's got a nice little etched design on it, but it is a nice, solidly well-built piece of rubber with a little eye hole right there to actually attach to your keys. And like I said, I could toss this thing around for an hour. I promise you, I would bet the house that this thing would not fall out or break off these keys, because it has not yet, and I've been using this combination for several years now. So, obviously, holiday travel essential. That's some of the best tech you can have for it, because it's going to keep your lost items from becoming lost or allow you to recover your items much more easily if you're in a situation where you accidentally lose them or leave them behind. We don't want that to happen to you, so make sure you take advantage of the tech that is available to prevent any kind of headaches. And that's one of the best tech pieces you can get for that kind of setup. Next, I want to talk about this. I'm very excited to be able to talk about this, actually, because I was waiting for an opportunity specifically to talk about this little guy. I think this is called the Anker UFO 3-in-1 charger. I call it the UFO charger. I think they might refer to it as that as well. It's linked in the carousel. This looks like a little UFO. That's where the name or the descriptor comes from. And what this essentially does is magnetize into place, so it collapses down into this very pocketable, very palm-sized 3-in-1 charger, where you'll notice if I actually unravel this, you're going to notice 3 little charging pads. You have one that is a Qi 2 certified wireless charging charger over here to the left, and you're also going to notice you have a wireless charger for your AirPods or your Qi certified wireless charging earbuds. Doesn't have to be AirPods. And then you have one for your Apple Watch as well. So I love this little thing. This gives you the ability of, with one little pocketable charger, charging up your Apple Watch, charging up your iPhone, and then also charging up your AirPods or your Qi certified wireless charging earbuds. So we've gotten to a point now, besides the Apple Watch, this product is specifically meant for Apple users because of the Apple Watch component here, but we're getting to a time now in tech where even your MagSafe chargers that were intended for Apple products or the iPhone originally is now going to be compatible with various products like the Pixel 10 Pro, for instance. And then you also do have your Qi certified wireless charger here for your Qi certified wireless charging earbuds. So even if you took something like the Nothing Ear 3 that we're going to be talking about, you could charge those as well. But this is generally going to be for your Apple users out there because of the ability of charging up your AirPods, your iPhone, and your Apple Watch all in one cohesive kind of charging unit. Now, I do want to point out, the cool thing is that this does come with a power adapter and a USB-C cable. I don't know where mine went. It is somewhere down here in the studio, but that's why I don't have it here with it. You have other options. If you lose it like I did or somewhere in the house, You could use your own power adapter and USB-C cable to power this up. But the idea here is that if you are going to be traveling, this little guy takes up hardly any space. Like I said, you can literally throw it into your pocket if you want. I love how it magnets down. And then the only other component of this is going to be your little power adapter and USB-C cable, which is going to plug right in here into the back. I was actually in New York earlier this year for the Samsung Galaxy Unpacked event, which I was very blessed and honored to be a part of and invited to. And to keep all my devices charged up overnight in the hotel room, this was actually exactly what I used. It was sufficient enough for me. It kept my 3 essentials charged up. If I have additional devices I need to charge, there are options for that, like we're about to talk about. But the idea here is that you have a little 3-in-1 travel charger that magnetizes down and then is able to fast charge or at least quickly recharge via wireless charging with some of the latest wireless charging standards, your various devices here. So very cool little device right here. Definitely recommend you check it out. $89.99. It may sound a little steep, but you are gonna get a lot of use of this because it's 3 chargers in one. For $90, you get the power adapter, the USB-C cable, and the 3-in-1 charger right here itself, which you could use to very quickly and easily charge up your various devices. And it's one product that takes away 3 products that you otherwise would have to pack separately. That is why I love it. It is probably going to be my go-to travel charger moving forward because of how slim it is. If you're like me, however, and you do sometimes bring several devices with you, I do have a couple options for that as well, which we will be talking about. But for most people, if you just want a one-stop solution for wirelessly recharging, like I said, your earbuds, your Apple Watch, and your iPhone, or your wireless charging capable device with magnets like the Pixel 10 Pro, this could actually satisfy you for charging all those devices in one kind of setup here. So definitely love this. Very cool, very cute. It has a nice, just one last little thing. It has a nice little polished, or it's a matte finish, but it's like a silky smooth matte finish here. So from an aesthetic standpoint, I like it too. Just the color here, it's an awesome little product. Shout out to Anker for creating this. I really do love what they're doing this year with a lot of their products. And we actually have another one we're talking about here, which is going to be specifically for your phone. So if you're in a situation where you're running out the door, you don't have the ability of laying down a phone on a wireless charger mat or a wireless charging station, or if you don't even have the ability of charging it hardwired either, but you still want to be charging your phone, maybe you still need to be using your phone while it needs to be charged, that is where you could get yourself a MagSafe compatible power bank. There are a bunch of these available. I'm recommending this one today because this seems to be probably the slimmest and the most dependable one that I have. There are a couple others that I talk about here on Amazon Live from time to time, but this one just never ceases to satisfy my needs here. This is going to be MagSafe compatible, so you can see the MagSafe circle and then the little dot right there for lining up the magnets. We have my iPhone Air right here, so all you would have to do is take this, slap this baby on, it's gonna magnetize into place, and then you may have to just press this. Actually, I think this is dead. Is it dead? I think we're dead on this. I think I was already using this power bank. You can see there's LED indicator lights on the side, which give you a nice little representation. If I press that power button again, and we zoom in, check this out. You could always press that little power button. I'm pretty sure that single dot flashing means that my power bank itself is dead. Obviously, because I've been using it, but the idea here is that once you attach this on, you have the ability of continuously using your device pretty much just like it was a standalone device. A lot of times you're using these smartphones, and if you have a MagSafe compatible charging bank on the back here, it's very seamless to be able to continue using your phone as if it was just one standalone device. It magnetizes into place, it's not gonna fall off. The cool thing about this Anker 622 is that it actually has a little built-in stand on the back here as well. There's a little lip, you pull that back, and then you're gonna notice you just pull this down, there's a little magnet in the middle, and then all of a sudden you have yourself a little stand. At the same time, you have a power bank magnetically attached to the back of the phone that is going to be charging the phone while you're using it. It's very quick and easy to use it either in portrait mode here, or if you wanted to slide it sideways, you could use it in landscape mode as well. This is probably dead because I've said this in live streams before. This power bank I actually seem to use throughout the day as a little stand to put my iPhone next to my desk when I'm working during the day. If I just want something to like hold it up in the stand if I'm watching a YouTube video or catching up on a video podcast or something, I'll usually play it on whatever device I have upstairs, and I use this as a stand more so than I use it as an actual power bank, just because it's slim enough and portable enough for me to be able to do that. And I really appreciate what Anker has done here in creating this. You also have the ability of recharging this itself via USB-C. There is a USB-C port on the side right here. That is what you're going to use. But for $47.99, not a bad price for something that is going to last you. And this should have enough juice. In fact, if we pull back the little back cover here, there's some information on the back. I'm going to read this to you. This houses, what is the milliampere hour capacity here? This is, usually it's written down here. We'll find it. 5,000 milliampere hours. So that is going to, depending on what phone you use, that's going to give it a decent amount of charge with the battery that is built into this. What is the iPhone 17 Pro? I can never keep track of all the different milliampere hour capacities for different batteries, but you do have to do a little math in your head. Wireless charging is less efficient than if you were hardwired, obviously, for reasons of the way it works. But 5,000 milliampere hours in this little power bank should be enough to give it a pretty big boost. If it doesn't give it a full charge, it'll give it a pretty solid charge. That is for the majority of the battery of your whatever connected device will likely be charged up enough to float you through whatever it is you're doing. If you're about to hop on a flight, hop in a cab, and you need to use your phone, but charge at the same time. But again, you can't put it down on a wireless charger or connect it via a wired connection. Awesome little opportunity here for you just to put this in your pocket, and you got yourself about a charge extra right here with a built-in stand, which is very cool to see. This is by no means the only MagSafe compatible power bank that is available on Amazon. It just happens to be the one that I find myself probably reaching for lately more than others. There are other opportunities too to keep you charged up on the go, but if you wanted the seamless and most worry-free setup for wireless charging on the go, that's a pretty darn good option, if you want my opinion. With that having been said, there are a couple other different ways you can think out of the box for how to charge up your different devices as well. If you didn't want to go for the 3-in-1 charger here, didn't want to go for this from Anker, there is another opportunity to get this from my friends over at Nomad. This is pretty cool. This is a high-speed USB-C cable and an Apple Watch charger combination in one. One thing you will always get with your Nomad products is a very nice aesthetic, a very nice look. And this, you can tell right at the start here, is built of very high quality. You have these metal end caps on the USB-C cable. You have metal over here on the Apple Watch charging component. And then, of course, you have your USB-C end right there. All with this little organizing zip tie that is built in also with a braided cord. Love this little thing. This is going to allow you to fast charge your connected device such as your iPhone. Right here, so you're just going to plug it in like that, and then at the same time you also have the ability of charging up your Apple Watch. So your Apple Watch would be charged up right there, your iPhone plugged into that. Now I'm going to actually plug this in for you so you can see it in action. I'm going to undo this little zip tie over here, and then if I plug this in off to the side, going to couple things around real quick. Hold on, you're going to see it should light up any second. All right, this is now plugged in. So now what we're going to be able to have here is there's the iPhone turning on and there's the Apple Watch charging. So it is essentially a 2-in-1 charger right here. You have yourself an iPhone charger or any charger for any smartphone, although you're probably going to be using this if you're an Apple user because of the Apple Watch charging component. That is half the reason why you would get this cable, just a built-in Apple Watch charger. The nice thing is this allows you to take one cord with you, not have to worry about your Apple Watch charging needs, and you can still use this as an usual USB-C cable. So even if I wouldn't recommend necessarily getting this Apple Watch and iPhone USB-C cable charger in one, because unless you have an Apple Watch, because obviously the whole point of this is that it has an Apple Watch charger built in. But if you want to just one cable without two separate cables for both your iPhone charging and your Apple Watch charging, pretty awesome way to do that, while at the same time, again, having it done in a very nicely well-built metal enclosure down here, and an aesthetically pleasing little accessory as well. We have to give a quick little shout out to Tessa out there who smashed the follow button. Thank you, Tessa. I see you there. Appreciate you. If you have any questions about any of these products, feel free to ask, but welcome to the Amazon family we have here. Always great to have some new followers. But that is essentially how it works. You plug one end into a power adapter, and then you're ready to charge up just by placing your Apple Watch down. It's going to magnetize into place, and then through the USB-C connection, you would connect your iPhone, and you now have a little charging station just off of one cable that you would plug into your power adapter. So just another little travel essential that may be helpful for you. If, for instance, you don't wear earbuds, but you do wear headphones, and you do have a Apple Watch and you do have an iPhone, it could make sense to get this instead, because that way you could use the USB-C to connect to your headphones or your iPhone, while at the same time, you could charge up your Apple Watch, and that way you're not getting the 3-in-1 charger from Anker and, having the earbuds charger the component of it when you don't actually have earbuds to charge up. So, shout out to Nomad for sending this out to me. Very cool device. I love what Nomad does. They take a simple idea, and then they're like, how can we make this the prettiest possible? and then they do it. So check that out. That was there in the carousel. And speaking of power adapters, depending on your setup, whether you need to connect to your computer, your headphones, your iPhone, your Android, if you have multiple devices that you're taking with you when you're traveling, if you need a way to fast charge multiple devices at once, the go-to charger / power adapter I would recommend right now would be the Anker Prime 100 watt 3-port power adapter. Anker Prime, anyone who knows me knows I love Anker. Anker makes some of the best tech products in the world as it relates specifically to charging and power, whether it's power banks, cables, power adapters. I would basically trust Anker with my life at this point. And they've created a new series called the Prime series, which is basically all the best of their technology and their refinements and improvements that they've developed and thought about and taken into consideration over the last few years, and combine them into this new Prime lineup. And this power adapter lies within that lineup, and it is going to give you 3 different ports here. You have 2 USB-A ports and one USB-A port, 2 USB-C ports on the top here. And you're going to notice that it has this nice little collapsible electrical prongs here for just plugging into your typical wall outlet. And then this thing is going to be capable of delivering up to 100 watts of power. Now, I do want to read the fine print for you. It is going to be up to 100 watts max per the USB-C port. So I'm looking at 100 watts. It's going to be 22.5 watts for the USB-A port. And then if you're using 2 ports at once, the maximum output power is going to be 100 watts between both of those ports. So the math's the way it's going to math. So it depends on what you're connecting to it, but 100 watts total possible output power between these 3 USB-C ports right there. I think if you have 3 connected at once, so if you have 2 USB-C and 1 USB-A, that drops down just a little bit, I think to 89 watts total output power. So it's 100 watts total, 100 watts for either of the USB-C ports, and then it's split basically 50-50 if you use both of them at once. And then if you use the USB-A, that's 22.5. If you use all 3, you divide the math out whatever way that comes out to be. Again, it all depends. Just know at any given time, you can have up to about 100 watts of output power, depending on your configuration from this. Now, if you don't know what that means, that is going to be more than enough to satisfy most laptops. I work off of the MacBook Air most of the day. That thing only takes 65 watts of input power. And then if I wanted to connect a phone, I could theoretically be charging my laptop up to 100% and charging up my iPhone at the same time, all connected to this one slim Anker Prime charger. It's about the size of a pair of AirPods, basically. Just about. Maybe a little bit bigger, obviously a little thicker, but it's not too far in shape and size from the AirPods Pro case. And it's still capable of all that output power, which could come in handy. It is definitely one of my top recommendations right now. There are a couple other options that are available from Anker as well, but this one in particular is priced at a very good price to deliver that amount of output power. And the nice thing is, too, you're getting that Anker peace of mind, the Anker safety that is built in. You have overheat protection, you have surge protection, you have a bunch of different things that are going on under the hood, so to speak, in this power adapter that is ensuring that you are charging up your connected devices safely so that you're not going to have any kind of damage to your sometimes thousands of dollars of devices that are connected to this. So you can maybe get some third-party off-brand charger that has this amount of output power for around the same price. I personally wouldn't go for that because I know that Anker has developed a reputation at being pretty much the #1 mobile charging brand in the world. So this is what I would recommend specifically. You'll notice if you go to check out the entire Anker Prime lineup, there's different kind of levels. There's a 45 watt Anker Nano charger. I think there's a 65 watt Anker Nano charger now too. This is the 100 watt. There's 130. I think it goes up to 240. You have a lot of different options for you. My recommendation that I would have would be to think about what products you are going to need to be charging up with your power adapter. Do the math about their maximum input wattage, and then figure out what adapter you need to deliver the amount of wattage that you need to charge up those devices. So for instance, I know for myself, if I'm charging up my MacBook Air at 65 watts, and then I want to connect my iPhone, which I can't even remember what it charges at these days. It's like 40 watts or something like that. I can't even remember. There's too many devices for me to keep on top of all that. But I just know I'd be able to charge up pretty quickly both my MacBook and my iPhone when connected to this power adapter. But I will say, you are going to be getting the power adapter. You might as well get yourself some USB-C cables as well. Always double check the product detail page. Sometimes these product Sometimes these power adapters from Anker come with their own USB-C cable. I don't know that the Anker Prime charger here does, but regardless, I did include the 2 USB-C cables that I recommend to have for your charging setups. We have a 100-watt rated version and a 240-watt rated version. You might not need the 240-watt if you're only going to be using the 100-watt power adapter like we just had in the carousel, but again, this is all going to be kind of based on what your setup is. So I'm giving you some of the best tech for holiday shopping or holiday travel, if you happen to be shopping while doing your traveling and you want to keep charged up. These are the different products I'd recommend, but it is ultimately going to be up to you to decide what products are best for your particular needs in your situation. Having said that, these are the USB-C cables I'm probably just going to buy and use moving forward. At any given time, I probably have 100 different USB-C cables here in the studio from all the different products I've reviewed in the past. But the idea is that specifically with these USB-C cables, not all of them are the same. You see that these are both USB-C cables, but one is rated at being able to deliver 240 watts of power, while the other is rated at only being able to deliver 100 watts of power. Chances are you might have a bunch of USB-C cables, but if you're wondering why your phone is still charging slowly while it's attached to a fast power adapter, for instance, it might be the USB-C cable. It might be a USB-C cable, but it still might be capped off at the actual wattage power that it's capable of. So if you wanted to future-proof yourself or just instantly upgrade your current charging process by getting a USB-C cable that can handle the wattage throughput of whatever kind of setup you have, these are 2 of my recommendations for that. These are both beautifully crafted. They have the braided material on the outside. They have these very well-built end caps here for the USB-C. One thing that Anker has been doing in like the last year or so is actually been labeling these USB-C cables with their maximum wattage. You cannot see this, even if you squinted on the stream. But right here, there's ever so slight writing that says 100 watts. So I know that this is the 100-watt cable. And then here on the 240-watt Prime cable, so this is part of that Prime series we were just talking about, this one has it written right on the back. And if you look closely, you will be able to see this on the stream. You can see how it's lighting up right there, or glistening in the light rather. 240 watts right here. So the idea is with both of these, again, 100 watts of throughput power, 240 watts of throughput power. It might be overkill, but at these price points for these USB-C cables, you're talking $30 for a cable that's probably gonna last you for like the next 5+ years. It's rated for durability, but in addition to that, it's also future-proofing you in a way. If you do get a device that accepts, up to 240 watts of input wattage charging, you're gonna be able to use this cable with that and not be bottlenecking yourself, capping yourself off with how fast you could actually recharge your devices because you have a USB-C cable that will actually be able to handle that throughput. So just something to keep in mind. If you're talking about power adapters, usually you're going to need a couple USB-C cables to go with them. If you were given the power adapter we just talked about, the Anker Prime 100 watt, I'd recommend picking up a few of these 100-watt cables. Or if you want something that's going to get future-proofed a little bit, and if you want this nice little, I love when Anker includes these. This is a nice little organizer zip tie that you have. It's not quite a zip tie, but it kind of functions the same way. You're just going to basically wrap this up, and then you could use this to very quickly and easily pull this over. You now have your cable nicely organized, and it's not a spider web wherever you're going to be storing it. It lays flat, nice and organized. That way it's ready to go. You gotta use it, you take it, you undo it, they're good. I love this cable. That's how you know I review tech for a living, when I'm getting excited about USB-C cables. But a couple other products I wanted to talk about. Speaking of power banks, this is another option from Anker. I won't spend too much time talking about this because we did talk about it in the past, but this is going to be a 9.6K 65-watt Fusion Anker Prime power bank. This is airline safe because it's under 100 watt-hours, so you could bring this on the airline without any kind of issues. And this is going to be definitely enough for a full charge of your phone, but it also could handle if you wanted to charge up your laptop, for instance. It is capable of 65 watts of output power, so for me personally with my MacBook Air, that is exactly where it needs to be delivering power to my laptop as if it was plugged in directly into the wall. And you'll notice here, there is actually an LED display on the front, which you could cycle through, and this is going to give you some information about the remaining battery life on the power bank itself. If you connect different kind of devices to it, you're going to be able to see the current power draws of those different devices. You have 2 USB-C ports on the bottom here. Now this is in and out, so this is the same way you're going to recharge the power bank itself, but 2 USB-C cable contact points right here, so if you wanted to connect 2 different devices, you are allowed to, and that's okay. Now I will also mention here that on the back there's a little fine print. It's a little worn because I've used this quite a bit. If you are using the USB-C input, I think it's 30 watts max, there is a preference to use USB-C 1, because I think that is the one that has 65 watts here of output power. So you'll notice, actually I'll show this to you. On the bottom, there's USB-C 1 and there's USB-C 2. USB-C 1 is going to be the one you want to use for your laptop. That is capable of 65 watts of output power. I think it says right here on the back, USB-C 2 is capable, I think, of 30 watts max, if I'm reading that correctly. So it is capable of 65 watts maximum output power, but that's going to be through USB-C 1. And then you have 35 watts, I believe, 35 watts, whatever I just said, on USB-C 2. And then if you had to split between those two, you just got to keep that in mind as well. So for instance, if you're charging up two different devices through USB-C 1 and USB-C 2, it's not going to be 65 and 30, it's going to be 65 total, and there's going to be math and algorithms going on inside this power bank that of course determine the power draw and whatnot. By the way, you do have the ability, if you wanted to connect these different kind of devices through Bluetooth. I'm trying to think if I have this one currently connected or not. I can't remember. I don't think it's connected via Bluetooth at the moment, but there are different kind of power banks. The Prime power banks do have a Bluetooth connection feature, some of them at least, which allow you to actually see the status of the power bank through your app, your Anchor app, which is pretty cool also. A couple more products from Nomad here. Here's the thing, I am not a case person. In fact, I think I generally will go naked, so to speak, with my devices more than I perhaps should, but I have found myself just to be okay with not dropping devices a whole heck of a lot. I'm usually pretty careful, and that is why you will see me with my iPhone 17 Pro Max here without a case on it. But I will say one thing, if I am going to be traveling, I like to make sure that this thing is protected. I do not want to see this thing fall and crack and shatter or dent the frame or anything. If I know I'm going to be in and out of cabs or in and out of cars or on the plane, and I know that this is going to be taken in and out of my pocket, I will play it safe when I'm traveling and throw a case onto this thing. And usually I'm picking between one of two cases. There are two in the carousel. These are both very similar, just different material. We have a leather case here from Nomad, which is going to go all the way around with tactile push buttons, and the ability to still use the camera control button through the case if that's something you still like to use. And then you have basically a matte plastic version of that as well. There's a couple different versions of this available on Amazon. I have what I believe are the two exact matches for these two cases in the carousel. If I had to pick one, I'd personally use the leather one. It snaps in very easily. There you go. Now I have this thing fully protected. You have a little bit of a lip in the front so that if you happen to put this face down, the screen itself is not making contact with that flat surface. Tactile, clicky buttons. Your action button. You have your power button over here, or your volume buttons on the left. And then you also do, like I said, have your camera control button here as well, that you can see it launches right into your camera control. So very awesome. You also have protection, a lip around the back camera housing here. So when you have this face up, none of those actual protruding camera housings right there are making contact with the surface. So very rugged, very durable case. You still have Prime cutouts here that are precision cut around the device itself to make sure that you're not having any kind of blockage for your microphone or your speaker or your USB-C cable. And I'll just quickly demonstrate for you here the plastic version of this. If you didn't want to go leather, very similar, just a different material here. And there you go. Same exact kind of thing. Fully protected, camera control. And this is probably what I'd recommend. Again, with Nomad, one of the things you're getting is attention to detail here, specifically with their products. And these not only slip on and off very easily, they are highly protective. They also do have the MagSafe charging built in. So you'll notice, if I line this up properly, it's not going to go under the case itself. I forgot I have to have the actual phone on. But if I have the phone in, you'll notice MagSafe charging magnetized right into place. No problem. So you could use that should you need to. Oh, it did magnetize into place. I thought I had to have the phone on there. I was just putting it in the wrong spot. You'll notice magnetized right.
To unlock your iPhone first.
Siri's listening to me. It's gonna, if you have a MagSafe charger, a puck, or even just a MagSafe compatible charging component, it is gonna be compatible with that. So it's gonna work either with your case on, obviously, or, you know, just to prove that it's the same thing right here, MagSafe charging. So definitely some cases I recommend you check out here from Nomad. I'll give you one last look at them here. You have the leather on the left. the plastic one on the right. I think these are pretty awesome in terms of the quality that they're providing you with. And you're going to see that you have the two different options there on the carousel. They're about the same price. Do double check to make sure that you have the right one specifically for your particular model. Make sure if you're on the 17 Pro, you're getting the one for the 17 Pro. If you're on the 17 Pro Max, make sure you're getting the one for the 17 Pro Max. I know they look similar and it's sometimes hard to see on the product detail pages with the stock product images. So just double check when you're checking out that you have the right piece specifically for your needs. Both of those are in the carousel. Again, that's just something I'd recommend if you are going to be traveling, to have yourself a nice little way to protect your phone so that if you drop your phone, it's at least protected in a case. Now, if you're also traveling, I do have a couple of earbuds and headphones options and offerings for you. Here's the thing. I based these choices off of what I would personally pick. So if I was putting together a travel bag, if I knew I was going to be traveling for Thanksgiving and I wanted to put a pair of headphones or a pair of earbuds in my travel bag, I use Android and iPhone, but I am primarily an iPhone user. And for that purpose, I would be picking devices and chargers that go along with those. Before I get to that, however, we have to give a shout out there to Allison. Allison smashed the follow button, so thank you, Allison. Hopefully you're enjoying this live stream. With that having been said, however, I obviously have to talk about the AirPods Pro Max. Yes, I know these are often seen as the bougie pair of headphones, but they are an Apple pair of headphones, and what I love about them is how they actually work within the Apple ecosystem. I'll show you a quick little rundown of these, what they look like. First, we do have to give another little shout out there to Tommy. Appreciate you, Tommy. Tommy smashed the follow button as well. Thank you, my friend. But here are the AirPods Max right here. This is the travel case. One of my biggest complaints when I reviewed these was this traveling case. I cannot stand this traveling case. It's like the least amount of effort you could put into a travel case. Anyway, that's for a different day, different discussion. The point is here, these are the AirPods Max. Super comfortable, very luxurious pair of headphones. They sound pretty darn good. I'm usually an EQ purist. I usually like to go in, especially with headphones, and fine-tune and tweak my graphic EQ settings. And that gives me the ability to boosting the bass a little bit if I wanted to boost the bass, or taking a little bit of the harshness out of the detail and the clarity in the high end, for instance. If you don't know what any of that means, then the AirPods Max are actually a fantastic match for you, because they are going to do some adaptive EQ work on the fly. Meaning that they are actually going to listen to themselves to adjust the EQ on the fly to make them sound the theoretical best that they could sound without you having to worry about making any kind of changes. At the same time, they are AirPods, and obviously they're in the AirPods family, so you have spatial audio. They're going to connect seamlessly through your different kind of Apple products. Super easy to be able to take phone calls on these, and that's really where the back of my mind was when I was thinking about these products to pick for headphones and earbuds. If I'm going to be in the car, or I'm going to be traveling on a plane, and I know I'm going to be taking phone calls here and there, making sure I know where I'm going, while at the same time listening to music. If you're an Apple user, if you're an iPhone user, you got to go with AirPods, whether you're going with the AirPods Max for the headphones or the AirPods for the earbuds, because of how seamlessly they connect and how easy they are to use. Now, the AirPods Max do come in many different colors, and you can pick and choose whichever color you see fit for your particular style. But I did also want to include in the carousel here these cool little silicone case covers that I'm personally using on my own. Now, you'll notice I have the space gray version of the AirPods Max, but just one little addition of the silicone cover right here, and I kind of changed it to a matte black pair of AirPods Max. There are different colors for this as well. You can use whichever one you see fit. But the nice thing is that these are not only protecting the AirPods Max, especially when you have this metal exterior, you don't want this to get dinged up and scratched up. So you can protect that by installing these little silicone covers, while at the same time customizing the color that you want. And you're going to notice that these are also, you're going to move them around just a little bit, and you want to make sure that they're lined up. These are precision cut to make sure that their little cutouts throughout are not covering up any specific important parts of the AirPods Max, so any microphone holes here or anything like that. You just want to make sure that you kind of squeeze these and move them around so that they're perfectly flush and lined up right where they need to be. So it takes a little bit of installation here. It is silicone, so you are going to be able to kind of manipulate it just ever so slightly. And you'll see there now you have those cutouts that are being exposed. And that's especially important if you are going to be using the AirPods Max, for instance, for taking phone calls, or when you're using active noise cancellation, because that's how it's actually going to be able to give yourself the full experience of what those microphones are capable of. So you sound good when you're on the phone, while at the same time the AirPods Max are operating and working how they're supposed to work. So AirPods Max, I could spend an entire live stream talking about why I like these, even though I have a dozen other pair of headphones that I could choose between. AirPods Max, if I'm traveling, I throw those in my bag, especially if I'm going to be watching movies or TV shows on my iPhone or my iPad. Those give me the ability of watching movies or TV shows in spatial audio, which is a very cool immersive experience that alone is one of the main reasons why I still use AirPods, whether it be the Max headphones or these guys right here, which we're about to talk about, which are the new AirPods Pro earbuds. I give these a pretty positive review. I think they're pretty darn solid. These are pretty much dead as a doornail right there. You can't see in the studio, but these need to be charged up. I was using these extensively over the last couple of weeks, and they are now dead. But for $249, these AirPods Max are delivering a lot of value in terms of all that they are giving you for your different kind of features and how you could use them in your daily workflow. I think they sound very good. They are some of the best ANC earbuds you are going to experience. I think Apple actually made a few claims where in lab testing they were a top performer, and the ANC on these is no joke. Another thing I specifically love about AirPods, and this is especially important for traveling, is how great the transparency mode is on these. These give you the closest true-to-life transparency mode of experience in a pair of earbuds to date. In other words, if you wanted to be able to go from active noise cancellation mode where you're closing out your environment around you to transparency mode where you're fully aware and fully able to hear everything going on around you, the AirPods Pro 3, to this date, best pair of earbuds with transparency mode built in that I found to be incredibly helpful in your entire kind of just day-to-day life, where you could switch back and forth, close off what you don't want to hear, basically just switch them to transparency mode when you do want to hear what's going on around you, and it's almost as if you don't even have earbuds in. That is how truly transparent the transparency mode actually is. So AirPods Max, definitely another really awesome tech product I recommend you check out if you are going to be going on any kind of traveling in a car or an airplane. Get your music, but at the same time, quick and easy to be able to take phone calls, and especially nice if you are switching between different Apple products, you have that seamless switching as well. I think my AirPods are literally just connected to my, I think my AirPods connected to my music here in the background, because I use them and it just connected to my computer. So the background music was being routed through the AirPods. Just a couple of the quick little products I wanted to talk about here. I won't spend too much time talking about these, but if I wasn't picking the AirPods, what pair of earbuds would I naturally grab? I would have to go with the Nothing Ears. I've been a fan of the Nothing Ear products for several years now. The last few iterations of the products that they've released and the models that they've released have been awesome. These are no exception. These are the new Nothing Ear 3s. They're basically the closest experience you can get to perhaps AirPods in a non-AirPods pair of earbuds. In terms of their look, design, fit, and style, I love the sound quality that these provide. I still need to finalize my full review for these, which will hopefully be up within the next week or two. But if I was not grabbing the AirPods and I needed a great way for me to be able to still connect easily and have a fantastic listening experience, these have a bunch of little features built in, like the super mic, which I will cover in my review. But very awesome, especially for traveling. Could be a great pair of earbuds specifically for that kind of purpose. And then two other little products specifically for your traveling. This one is an interesting product. This is a Lark Smart Bottle. Full disclosure, Lark did reach out to me. They wanted to sponsor a video, but I got back to them. There was a little feedback I provided to them that I felt they needed to improve upon before I actually decided to move forward with a full video. So I still use it though, because in the meantime, it's still operating pretty well. It is essentially a water bottle that is going to be able to allow you to track your water intake. And at the same time, there's a built-in filter, so it could actually filter the water you're consuming. It also does have a UV light-based cleaner built in, all of which you're able to actually control through a little button on top. So I would press this once. You're going to see the little Lark Pure Viz logo turn blue right there. And basically what this means is that it is sanitizing inside right now. And if I undo this, I'm pretty sure it's going to turn off. It's not going to stay on. See if I could, yeah, I think it turned off. It detected. Oh no, there it is. It's on. Hold on. Let's see if oh, it turned off. I was going to try to catch it real quick and show you how it works, but it automatically turns itself off when you remove the cap. But then there's a filter built in as well. But what I love about this is that there is a little sensor built into the cap that could actually, when you take sips and then you close the cap, you're going to notice the LED lights are going to flash white here. See, they didn't, and that is part of the reason. Oh, there, it was late. Did you see? It took a second. We'll show that to you one more time. I gave some of the feedback there. I did find that the tracking was actually a little finicky from time to time. I think they're gonna be coming up with updates in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully in the next month or two, it'll be ready to go for a full review. But basically, you open the cap, you take a sip, you close the cap. Now we have to be patient this time. You're gonna notice the LED light around, there it goes. That little status indicator right there, that means it would properly track whatever I just sipped for the water that was in the water bottle. Now, where does this actually sync to? It syncs to a companion app, a large companion app, and within that app, you can actually see your daily hydration goal and where you are on the daily goal basis. I'll show you right now, actually, what that looks like. Now, this is going to be outdated. Ooh, it's very bright. Hold on a second here. This is going to be outdated. It is going to update probably in real time when we're talking about it here. I'm not, there it goes, up to 19%. So that's the other thing. I wish it updated a little bit more frequently. I'm probably a little bit higher than that today, but that's another thing. It doesn't seem to be super accurate, but it still does have the other features where it is a self-cleaning water bottle. It has the filter built in. The tracking just needs a little bit of work, I think, in the way it's implemented. I would love, for instance, to have a widget that you could put on your home screen here on your iPhone. And I would also love push alerts. This gives you actually LED alerts on the top of the water bottle. When it's been like 30 minutes or something, or 90, you could actually set that since your last sip of water. I would love push alerts to come through on the phone too, so that if I don't happen to see the water bottle but I'm on my phone, I can get alerts that way also. So that is why I think it needs a little bit of more work before we fully commit to fully reviewing it. But it is still something I use on a daily basis, and if I was traveling, I would take this water bottle with me, because one of the biggest things is staying hydrated when you're traveling, and this water bottle could help get you there. Last product is just a wallet I use. There's so many different wallets you could choose from, but the wallet I personally use is this pretty cool nomadic wallet. It's like this fabric finish. I love slim wallets, and this has enough room for, how many cards do I have in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 credit cards, my license, I think this is my insurance card, a gift card, a tracker card, and some money right there. All in this very cool slimline kind of package. Now, hold on a sec. I'm going to switch my license out here so that I don't flash my license or any credit card numbers for that matter on the screen. All right, I flipped them over. Now I can show you guys. I don't want anyone taking my credit card numbers while we're live. So check this out. Basically, you have this little pull tab here, and when you pull that, it's going to fan out your card, so you can take your most frequently used card and just thumb it right off the top and pay for whatever you need to pay for, and then you push it down and it collapses into place. You have a little money section over here. Very cool wallet. I was surprised at the quality of this thing. It's only $19.99, and it is phenomenal quality. This is honestly, maybe I shouldn't say this out loud, but this is a wallet I probably would pay 50 bucks for, and I'd be very happy with it. And I was blown away by the fact that it's basically just $19.99, and it's made out of fabric, which is very cool too. But hopefully you found this stream helpful. Those are a bunch of different products, the best tech products I think that you could take with you on your holiday travels, from preventing any kind of lost items, to finding them once they are lost, to staying hydrated, all the way down to keeping your products charged up while you're on the go. These were some of the best tech products that I would personally recommend to you if you wanted to keep yourself organized and living your proper life while you're traveling this holiday season. As always, all the products we talked about are in that carousel below.